welcome back to our channel. On this episode of Senior Share, we're going to be talking about benefits and cons of dorms, frat, and commuting. So, Johnson, want to start off with dorms?
So for me, like, I lived in the dorms my freshman year, and honestly, it was a decent experience, like good experience overall, in my opinion. Like the pros of it, I felt like the dorms are like clean and you have like privacy, and it's like relatively quiet depending on who your roommates are, and then like everything in the room has like has its function, like it functions. Like
the room functions.
Yeah, the room functions. Like it's like
be honest with us, Johnson.
It functions. Like I don't know. I felt like everything just functioned and everything. Like I had nothing.
Nothing is broken.
Yeah, nothing's broken.
Okay.
Like that's like based on like how I live now, which everything is like kind of broken. So it's like a big change for me there. So like it's like nice. It's like a nice and tidy place for you. Right. But however, like the cons for it, in my opinion, were like there are resident advisors who kind of monitor like what how loud you are, and then they do like maybe like monthly or like every like once a quarter where they just like do a room raid to see if you have any like substances.
What about write-ups?
Oh, and write-ups too. Like for example, if you're like too loud, they'll just come in and like write you up, and then honestly nothing really it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
like it does not matter at all, but like you're just like, okay, thank you.
It kind of feels like you're still back in high school.
Yeah,
like you're just limited, always being watched.
Yeah, and then also another con is like dorm food. Like when you first move in, you're like, oh, this is so cool. Like I can just get food whenever I want. It's so amazing. Everything's perfect.
So much freedom.
But like, I think like coming into college, I heard the saying where it's like, if you eat too much dorm food, you kind of become dorm food, and I completely agree with that.
What does that mean?
Just like you feel so gross and greasy. Like, like I remember I would eat like a burger from this one place like 3-4 times a week, and it was great at first, but then I was like, I cannot do this anymore, and honestly I've never.
But when you first taste it, it's good, because
for the first
come
week,
over and you bought me sandwiches.
Yeah,
they were good.
Same.
They were good.
It was great for us.
But you have to eat it every day.
But that's what I ate every day. I wanted to like kill myself, but that's fine. And then also it's a very like confined space. Like your dorm room's probably like maybe 100 square feet, and for me, I share it with like 2 other guys, so. I mean, like it's privacy for a lot of other people, but like I have like my only space was like my bed and then my desk, and that's about it. That's pretty much it for a dorm.
Okay. I can talk about commuting. So we each have our own like separate thing that we did freshman year, and I commuted for a lot of years. But there are definitely some pros and cons to commuting. I focus on the cons a lot more, so maybe I'll talk about the pros because it's easier. You definitely save a lot of money commuting. You don't have to pay for an apartment. You don't have to pay for food, especially if you're living with your parents. It can be around like $10,000 a year. I'd say that's the average between dorms, apartments, and living in Greek Row. So you save that money, but you make it up in some other places. So people usually tend to take like the bus, or they drive to school. Maybe they walk if they're close enough. I drove, and it was a pretty long drive, so just a lot of extra things you have to think about. So like, a lot of things you probably thought about when you were going to high school, like if you have to take the bus, like not missing the bus, coming to your classes on time, thinking about traffic when you want to go home, finding parking. There's no free parking within like a mile of campus. Walking to class, I've definitely been late a lot more times than I'm proud of. Honestly, there's not a lot of pros to commuting unless you're trying to save money. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
How about you, John?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about what it's like to live in a frat. So I'll start off with the pros. So this one's pretty obvious, but you instantly make friends just because you're confined in one house with so many guys. You know, some houses across different campuses, you know, maybe it's 20 guys, maybe it's 15 guys, maybe it's 100 guys, right? So no matter what, you're in close quarters with so many guys, so you will be making a lot of friends. So tandem with that, your social life will definitely be better than average than just other UW students, right?
I can understand that,
just because you're living with so many people, and because there's like events constantly planned throughout the week, And if you're in a dorm or commuting, there's not like events you could really go to like that.
It's the bus.
It
comes at a scheduled time.
Yeah, also you just get to meet such a big diversity of people. I mean, at least for UW, a lot of diversity at UW. So, you're gonna gain new perspectives. It's gonna be great. Another big thing is you can take classes with brothers in your house. So you won't need to make friends or make connections with people that are in your class when you can just sign up for classes with people you already know. And it's a super advantageous.
You probably guys walk to class.
Walk to class.
That's the nicest part.
Yeah, you bond like that too.
It's an underappreciated part of college is having someone to walk to class with.
Yeah, and networking is really huge too, right? Because like, you got your job through your frat, right? Like you had a lot of help. I personally could not have gotten my internship without connections I made in a fraternity as well. So networking is really big, and I think just statistically, just like networking leads to higher salary for a lot of people that left fraternities as well. So I think that is a big thing people overlook.